Well, we got a note yesterday just after we got off the air to be checking your emails. A major announcement would be made before too long, and so it came in. And the Economic Development Council of Mason County has decided and landed on a new executive director. And as I said early this morning, Vicki, they looked all over the place.
Searched far and wide.
When
they
the
did.
perfect fit was in front of them the
Right
whole
there.
time. Jennifer
Right there.
Baria is here and the new executive director for the Mason County EDC.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
That's so
A
cool.
lot has happened since Monday when you were here.
I know, right? We'll see what happens when I come back on Monday
Right.
over the weekend.
I know you have got
Whole nother story.
a big luncheon coming up in a little bit, so
We
I'm
do.
sure there's a lot of work to do for that. But very cool. Talk to me a little bit about how you found out about this. What kind of first, were you involved in any of the looking for the executive director?
Only logistically. So the board put together a hiring committee consisted of 4 board members the first time around and then 5 when they started the second process. We mostly in the office kind of shuffled emails around. So set up the email for them. Applications went directly to them. They reviewed them, and then they told us who they wanted us to set up appointments for. So
Now, did you apply?
I didn't. No.
Oh, wow.
I like
Once
that.
again,
Right.
perfect fit right
You
there.
know what? Sometimes that's all it takes. Just
Now I
look
know.
around yourself. You know.
Did you choose that paint color in that office? Pretty fortuitous, I would say.
I mean, if it all comes together.
Talk to me a little bit about how the role is changed for you. I know you have been in the community and with the EDC for a while now, and you are one of the main faces of the EDC out in the community. But what does it mean then to be now the executive director?
It's really about shouldering the responsibility of making sure that our mission is met. So the director is charged by the board. The board sets the overarching goals, and the director's responsibility is to make sure that those goals are met. How they do that, that's really up to the director, and but making sure that your final deliverables are the success of both the organization and the work that you're doing.
So are the board goals blank number of new businesses or percentage of increase over year to year, and then you've got the leeway to figure out how to do those things, or are they more specific goals and you're kind of moving the chess pieces around to get there?
Imagine a hybrid of both of those.
Okay.
So there are big overarching goals like business retention and expansion, helping those businesses that we have in our community currently with whatever growth needs they have or roadblocks that they run into. That impacts job numbers, but that isn't necessarily creating new jobs. On the flip side, you do have retention projects that do create jobs. So there are specific projects that you're going to be working with that will create jobs that you can kind of compute numbers around that. But there's also the broader ones, business services. You know, what does that look like? Counseling for entrepreneurs, financing counseling, things like that. We have specific set numbers around what we'd like to see for those types of projections. Recruitment, we're starting to move into a really dedicated recruitment plan, partnering with the city on their retail recruitment that they're doing as well. So you can put numbers around there, but when you're starting those programs, it's kind of a, here's where we'd like to go. Let's see what we've done. And then we can mitigate moving forward.
When it comes to recruitment, and I know you can't give away any specifics on businesses and things like that, but
We'll call them Project A, B, and C.
sure, that works for the
Come on,
conversation's
it's just us here.
sake of
Sure it is. These
conversation.
microphones make me feel very...
Safe.
Are there projects in the works that are nearing an announcement period for the community? Can you at least share with us that there may or may not be some upcoming deals made or signings of this and that and the other that you guys have been working on?
I can't share that with you, but we are always putting in proposals for new companies. We just put one in for a food processor company up in Belfair. So when we start those processes, we can tell you the specifics around the project, but until the business is ready to announce that, there's not much that we can.
And then also,
We can push them, we can kick them and
Sure.
say, yes,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
just make the announcement. It'd be great for everybody. Just
Right.
make it.
You're so close.
The other thing on recruitment is as property values increase, interest rates increase, and things like that, people are kind of moving south and into the Mason County area. How big is our proximity to I-5, not only for the north-south, freight travel, things like that, but also the rail lines, and then the access out to the water? Are those being utilized as big recruitment draws? Say, hey, we're close to I-5. You can get to I-5 in 20 minutes, and you're on the freeway.
It's definitely something that the businesses look at. They look at, especially if they're transportation based, it does come down a little bit to the specifics of that business. If it's a transportation based company, we're not really as close to I-5 as they need to be. Rail does help us. A big selling point for Mason County is the amount of fiber that we have throughout our county.
Oh, sure.
There is really no business that doesn't touch on access to internet or the speed of which that information needs to pass. So that is probably our biggest selling
Really?
point. But rail is definitely huge. We have a lot of industrial property that surrounds rail as well. So that helps target and focus those efforts.
So the increase on that use of fiber is good, I think, right, for these large corporation server farms, but they may not have a large employee base. How do you, are there plans to kind of say, hey, we get that a major technological company coming in looks good, sounds good, but if at the end of the day they only have 15 employees because that's all it needs to run a server farm, do you lean to those to make a bigger splash and show other companies that this is a viable area, or do you focus on maybe a smaller name but with larger employment potential?
Our focus really is on jobs. Taking that outside or taking that out of it, the PUD's focus is on getting customers onto their system. These are great questions, but they're very subjective to the business that's moving forward. So say you wanted to locate something that's data heavy in Hoodsport. PUD1 has more capability on their substation, whereas if you located somewhere in PUD3, they might have that ability, or they might need to add a substation to help build out that capacity. So it really is subjective to what the company is. But jobs at those server farms, even if they are low in number, tend to be very well-paying jobs.
Okay.
So it does kind of counterbalance that, which is why you really need a diversified approach. If you're only going after retail, that's great. You can get some retail, but those retail jobs vary on what the salary of their employees pay. If you're only going after manufacturing, then you're missing those builder jobs, that part-time and minimum wage jobs of people moving out of high school and need to transition into. You have to look at it as a whole, but that it has many different areas that need to be addressed. So
Lots of
there's a lot of moving parts.
there are. Very cool.
Sounds like a hard job.
Jennifer Baria, the new ED of the EDC.
Yay.
County. Oh, luncheon today. What's going on? Is there still our time to RSVP or on that?
Well, RSVP, no, but we always accommodate anybody extra. Yep. We always plan for more. It's at the hospital. Eric Mall will be speaking. They've got a lot of changes coming up, so it's a good one to attend.
Very cool.
11:30 is when it starts, and there's a door charge of $10, but that goes right back into Mason General Foundation. So it's kind of a come and learn, and your money is going back into the community
You know
for
what
their
John Cruz
projects.
is making?
I don't.
Friday, right? Prime rib?
We never that would be nice.
Friday.
For only $10. Come on down.
Get those ovens going or something.
We are so there taking a lunch today.
He's so good that he we say yes, we want food, and he preps
It's a
the
spread.
whole meal.
Gosh, I
so
love that.
yeah.
For sure.
Love
All right,
it.
cool. That's happening today. And then I guess we'll see you, or maybe now you can delegate to
I
someone.
know,
else.
right? I'm gonna kick Karin in here since I've now been twice this week.
Yeah, that's right.
You better still come in.
I will. I
Okay,
definitely
good.
will.
Jennifer Baria, good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I
Congratulations.
appreciate that.
It's break.